and welcome to an exceptionally happy edition of Steelers Today. He's Dale Lolley. I'm Dejan Kovacevic. We're from DK Pittsburgh Sports. And over to you, Dale. I got nothing, man. I got nothing.
You can't make the mistakes that the Steelers made in this game. The turnovers, they lost the turnover battle badly.
There was no battle.
There was no battle. It was,
don't use that word associated with this game.
You know, you lose that 3-0. Two of those turnovers come in overtime in situations where you're going in to win a football game that, quite frankly, you know, you got to kind of gut your way through some games like this when you don't have your starting quarterback. Your starting cornerback leaves in the first half. TJ Watt leaves in the second half. And so you're kind of trying to tough it out and just figure out a way to win the game. And when you play this way, the margin for error is just not very great. And they lost it. You know, it feels like a loss for sure. You know, this is a game that you probably had to have, and you didn't get it. Now you got to get one somewhere else. And you know, I get it. You know, Cam Hayward said it best. You know, the ties suck. This isn't hockey. You don't get any points for the tie. You know, it's just.
Hang on, we're gonna have to do this over again. This dude's driving a dumpster down the. And it's shaking
like
the entire rotunda. Look at that.
Like an earthquake.
We should just keep rolling, right?
Yeah, why not?
All right, let's do that.
Yeah, that was just a little earthquake there.
So there was some guy driving a dumpster by on the rotunda.
He was still shaking around.
The whole thing. You know, that actually shook me enough to actually contribute to this episode, Dale. I'm taking this in a way more general context than anything specific. I don't see a whole lot here for the Steelers.
You're going to punt on the season now? It's over?
Pretty much.
Forget about it? We don't.
Yeah,
I guess,
pretty much, yeah.
I've seen way too much of this.
Here's why. So have I this year. Okay?
But I'm talking about in general. Baltimore lost in Miami badly on Thursday night.
I'm not even getting into outcomes.
The Browns went up to New England and didn't just lose that game.
Hear me out.
Smoked.
Hear me out. I'm not getting into outcomes.
Okay.
I don't care that it's a tie. I don't care that it's a loss. And actually, to be honest with you, and I swear to you, I don't care if Freiermuth hangs onto that ball and they kick and win it, okay? And here's why.
We're still bouncing up and down.
I don't see the individual facets of this team improving. I don't see players stepping up and making plays. I don't see improvement in the vital areas. I don't see the offensive line getting better. And yes, I know they got hurt in this game. So I'm being general here. I don't see wide receivers making plays. I don't see, and this is anything but a criticism of Najee Harris, but I don't see the components in the running game necessary to extend one of his runs into something special. Okay. Again, I'm not putting that on him.
Well, I don't agree with that. I mean, he had some runs in this game where he should have had 2 yards and he ends up getting 10.
Right, but that's what I'm talking. I'm talking about the 30, 40, 50 yarders where you break it.
He's not that kind of guy. He just isn't. He didn't even do that in college.
Everyone breaks one once in a while, and this isn't on him. I can't say this enough. He's the last guy I'd pick on after this game. I don't see it. I don't see these inside linebackers getting any better. I see them getting worse.
I mean,
what about this team is, to use Mike Tomlin's terminology, where's the upward arrow here? What is it?
They haven't lost a game in over a month. I mean, that's kind of a big deal.
That's outcomes and results. Yeah, but I'm talking about facets.
What's the bottom line? This is a bottom line business.
Yeah, the bottom line once you get into the playoffs is you have to have a team that's getting better.
But who's any good in the AFC?
Well, that's not answering my question. That's ducking it and saying, let's talk about the Ravens or the Bengals or the Browns.
I'm just saying, I've heard this a lot over the last week. You know, people saying, well, you know, the tough part of the schedule comes now in the second half. Really? It does? Those wins against the Bills and the Browns, who I think are good teams, don't count.
I agree with you.
They beat those kind of teams.
I agree with you.
That's what you're going to face if you get to the playoffs. That's what you're going to face in the second half.
Get better at something. This team currently...
I can't look at this game and say that
I'm not looking at this game. I'm looking at the whole season. There are two things at which the Steelers excel. One, being Cam Hayward. Two, being TJ Watt. I don't see this team improving in other areas. I don't see players getting better. I want to see somebody jump out and pop out. You and I were talking about in the second half, especially when TJ went out, we were talking in the press box. Let's see Alex Highsmith make a play. He did.
He made a couple, yeah.
He did. Where the hell is the rest of this roster in doing stuff like that? What would be so terrible about Deontay Johnson or James Washington making a play? Have we completely given up on these guys making a play?
Not at all. And I thought Deontay Johnson made a couple of plays late, then he fumbled.
He sure did.
He put one
he
on
made
the ground.
a couple on one sequence.
He also made a hell of a play to get them in the field goal range before the Freiermuth.
They're backward.
I mean, he ran 40 yards across the field to get out of bounds and get a first down. It's there. It's just not there consistently. I'll agree with you that yes, consistently it's not there, but they make plays. That's what's so frustrating about it is that
sporadic.
The capability is there, but the consistency is not.
No, it's not. Welcome back to Steelers Today, and all anybody wants to talk about is Mason Rudolph anyway, so here we go with Mason Rudolph. I thought he looked terrific early on.
He made some plays. He had some misses. Again, much like the team, inconsistent. And maybe that's to be expected. You know, he hadn't started the game in almost a year. He hadn't played in even a preseason game in 3 months.
That's all fair.
He didn't know he was starting this game until last night. So I'll say this. He gets probably as many, if not more, practice snaps than any backup in the league because he gets, and
it's his fourth year.
Yeah, he gets them all.
Again, he doesn't show up unprepared.
No, he does not. And I'll say this about, you can talk about Mason Rudolph in terms of his talent level, but the desire to be good, I have no question about that with him. The work that he puts into it, I have no question about that with him. The only question you have is he talented enough to do it on a consistent basis? And, this was his 10th career start. I mean, it seems like it should be more, but it's not.
I know. And at the same time, I guess the part that really started to feel like it was going downhill for him was when he started making those soft sideline passes, and you're cringing the whole time the ball is up in the air because it's either going to get picked, it's not going to get caught because you're giving the DB way too much time to get over. Ben's really good at those.
He is, and he's got a stronger arm, obviously. I think Ben's got a top 10 arm talent all time in NFL history. I think we have to admit a little bit, given what Jared Goff did today as well, that weather might have been a bit of a factor. It might have been, but it doesn't affect velocity. No, it doesn't.
He made some decisions where he threw too hard as well to Deontay across the middle and everything. I guess the part with Mason Rudolph that bugs me is that he's out here. He's showing you. This is the same conversation. It's the consistency things. Yeah. You saw the scramble, you saw the rollout, and you go, "Oh, this is cool. This is all right."
Yeah,
you can do more of this.
There was at one point in this game after he ran on that second scramble, where the crowd in this stadium was actually behind Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, well, they really were
fired up.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a big
They saw a quarterback moving, and it was cool.
And then they didn't get it in the end zone. They settled for a field goal, and I don't necessarily blame him for that.
The head coach almost did.
Well, he called,
the head coach said it was an RPO.
Anybody
who knows what that is, that's run pass option. That means it's up to the quarterback.
But he also said there were 6 defensive linemen in the game, and they had a loaded box, and you don't run into that. Now, we saw on the field, Najee Harris, after each one of the passes, was ticked off, and he was gesturing to the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're Mason Rudolph and you're told, hey, you get this look, you check out of that because we're going to throw the football.
God, here comes our dude again.
There's our guy again.
It literally shakes the entire rotunda. It's crazy. Yeah. Like, what's this thing made of? Like aluminum foil? Anyways. Yeah, so they could have done a better job in some of those situations. He even talked about it on the one where he missed Ray McLeod in the first half. He did.
Down inside. And, he talked about how the ball stuck on his gloves just a little bit longer than he would like. And you just saw that kind of stuff happening in this game, not just to Rudolph, but to Goff as well. I mean, the weather conditions here are not great, but it's not an excuse. You still have to make those plays.
I'll tell you what, if they go out to L.A. and beat the Chargers after this...
You're back on board?
I don't know if I'm back on board, but I'll be stunned. I'll tell you that. I appreciate everybody watching Steelers Today. We'll do another one soon.